Hi guys, about 10 years ago I got a chance to record original music for an indie film named Smash Motorized Mayhem. It's a documentary about cheese wagon derby racers. These are actually guys that do demolition derby racing with school buses. So there's zany characters and it's really crazy and it's a pretty funny film. You should actually check it out. What I had to do in the film was to do basically replacement sound-alike music for famous cuts that obviously in an indie film you're not going to get the rights for, and even if you could, you can't afford that. So I had to replace music and record things that were similar to ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner and other country songs. And some of the cuts are actually pretty cool, so I thought I'd share that with you, and when we're done, I will discuss some of the production that went into it. Hi guys, thanks for checking that out. Let's talk about some of the production. So in general, at the time I was pretty much always using my red Shelly Model 1 guitar. It's a very versatile instrument and I could get a lot out of it just by playing differently and setting the amplifier differently. The amp at the time was my PV-JSX, and I didn't really have a good situation where I could crank that thing up and mic it. So I was running it through, like a load box and then into, I believe it was a Hughes and Kettner Red Box at the time. And that was my rig for that. On a lot of the lead stuff, you're hearing, I was going for kind of a Roadhouse kind of sound. So I was doing a trick where I would run into a Boss DD6 and you could set one side of it to be dry and one side to be the echo, and I would set it with a really short kind of echo, and that creates more of a stereo spread where it sounds kind of like it's just smacking off the back wall of like a small kind of like bar kind of sound, and that worked for a lot of the lead stuff there. I played all the tracks, all the parts on the tracks except for the drums. So you're hearing like guitar, keyboard, and keyboard bass going on there. The acoustic stuff was an Ovation Celebrity Deluxe and an AKG C1000S. Now, these aren't the greatest things in the world, but you just make things work. What that Ovation was kind of good at with that mic was sounding a lot like a dobro. So on the slide stuff you're hearing, that's that guitar, but it kind of has that quality and it worked out. The one really interesting thing to me is that when I did the ZZ Top track, I couldn't get the lead tone to be anything close to the ZZ Top sound using my PV Direct setup. I did have a little practice amp. There was a Marshall MG15, a little 15-watt solid-state amp with like an 8-inch speaker. And believe it or not, if you dial that in and you put a 57 on it, and I used the middle pickup, single coil pickup on my Shelly guitar, and that sounded a lot like the Billy Gibbons sound. I'm sure that's absolutely nothing like his signal chain, but it just kind of worked, and that's what I went with there. The drums were actually mic'd in a small room, and I think I had like an 8 mic setup on that. So we probably had 2 overheads in a coincidence pair over the cymbals, and then we had kick and snare and a couple of tom mics. And the drummer Kerry McCartney did a great job on that. Great drummer. Know how to tune the drums well, and everything sounded pretty good. It would be great to see what I could do with it now with the knowledge I have now. But it was a really cool project, and it would be cool to do more of that stuff in the future. I would say I prefer doing fully original music to sound alike stuff though, because you're still kind of, you're hamstrung into this problem of I have to have it sound enough like the song to the person who commissioned it, but I can't, we can't have a legal issue. And so the problem is, for a Skynyrd song to sound close to the Skynyrd song, I have to sort of do similar licks to the solo, but the lick that the solo does was already taken. And so it always ends up sounding a lot more lame in comparison. Whereas if you were allowed to record something that was just in the style of Lynyrd Skynyrd, you could go do something completely original and it would work. But that's always the difficulty with these projects. You're not getting to do exactly the thing you would want to do. You have to do the thing that makes the person happy. So as a musician, you don't always feel like, oh, that's my best work. But then the person that commissioned it is really excited about it. So you just have to keep your mouth shut and and just do the job. Anyway, thanks for checking out the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Thanks, guys.